Hello everyone and welcome to the Imperium Agency Incubator Service Delivery, the Foundations section. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing something very exciting, something that is being overlooked, something that hasn't been talked about at all in all the trainings I've been, which has been a lot, is the golden rule to Facebook ads mastery. And there really is only one. You're probably thinking, no way, there's probably so many things you need to do with Facebook ads. You need this, and that. And on a surface level, you might be correct. However, what I've learned after my years on Facebook and spending a lot of money on Facebook and learning from people who spend even more money on Facebook, it really all comes down to one simple rule that never changes. It doesn't matter if iOS 14 updates and conversion APIs and the dashboard and whatever. It doesn't matter at all. This rule always stays, and it isn't just Facebook ads, but it really is all of advertising. So without further ado, let's get into it. So how do you become a Facebook ads master? In short, it isn't as difficult as the gurus make it out to be. It really isn't. And after spending over $500,000 on Facebook ads and producing millions of dollars in revenue, plus being personally mentored by people who have spent over $10 million on Facebook, probably a lot more by now, I've learned a thing or two. It isn't knowing fancy terminology or using 16 different softwares, getting Facebook certified, or buying thousands of dollars worth of courses. It really isn't. It all comes down to being really good at one simple thing: emotionless testing. It's all about throwing as many variables as you can at Facebook until something sticks. You test, and test until it works. No one actually knows what works on Facebook. The only thing the best marketers know is that they are very good at testing. And the more you test at the start, the less you will have to test in the future. The number one rule to Facebook is leave nothing up to chance. And how do we do that? We do that through testing. And that's simply by hedging our bets. You use the same principles when you're investing in stocks or real estate or whatever. But instead of buying different stocks and diversifying our portfolio, we use creative, copy, targeting, and headlines. The more we use, the higher our chances of positive ROI. This isn't just the case for Facebook ads. This is the golden rule for all advertising. Never stop testing, and your advertising will never stop improving. That's a quote from David Ogilvy, who basically came up with direct marketing back in the 60s. He came up with split testing when Facebook ads and online marketing weren't even a thing. The way he did that was by simply posting newspaper ads for certain companies and having at the bottom of those ads phone numbers, and every location would be different phone numbers. And the way he did that was that all those ads were different in copy, in creative, in everything. And the way that he found out which one was working the best is obviously by just looking at which phone number got the most results. And that was the most basic, simple form, but it was incredibly new to its time, and it was really the first sort of method that we now know as direct marketing. And he was notorious for this, and he was notorious for understanding that all advertising really is testing multiple variables. That is really all it is. It's just being able to throw as much as you can at the market and letting the market decide which is the best ad and which eventually is going to get you the best results. There's no marketer or Facebook guru, whatever, who can tell you if a marketing campaign is going to work or not. The best Facebook marketers, and you'll be able to pick them out of a herd easily, will tell you one simple thing: I'm not great at Facebook ads, I'm really good at testing. The best Facebook ads marketers approach Facebook ads like scientists. They just test different variables until they've found the proven formula. So how do we use that rule and put it into practice? Very simple. a very simple Facebook ads testing process. So the main thing you want to do is you want multiple creative angles at the ad set level. You can use the CBO level as well. However, from data, we found that the ad set level still works the best. And the higher our budget, the more creative angles we can use. So smaller budgets, we tend to use around 2 audiences mixed with 2 copy angles and 2 creative angles. And creative angles, I mean images and videos and headlines, right? And that is usually what is kind of our maximum when it comes to testing when we have a $500 budget. Mid-sized budgets is usually around $1,000, and we usually use around 3 audiences, 3 copy angles, and 3 creative angles. Higher budgets, $2,000 and beyond, 4 audience angles mixed with 4 copy angles and 4 creative angles, leaving you with, I think, if my math is correctly, probably is around 28 different variants. And the higher our budget, the more angles we use on all levels: targeting, creative, copy, placement, headlines. This is why the higher your budget, the easier Facebook ads are, simply because you can test more variables. You can be incredibly talented and, be able to write incredibly good copy and write the best type of ads and, come up with the nicest creative. You can have a budget of $1,000 per month. I can tell you right now, the worst marketer in the world that just simply has a lot of testing money, let's just say $2,000, $3,000, will eventually come out ahead with the best performing ad, just simply because that person is able to throw more variables at Facebook. And that is really all it is. This is also something important to remember when you're with clients. If results are lacking, don't stress about new copy, new funnels, trying to improve every little bit and trying to squeeze extra conversion out of everything. Of course you can, and of course I always recommend trying to improve your processes in service delivery. However, the easiest way to fix it is just to try and increase the budget so you can test more. Now, of course, this isn't always possible, but if it is, then that will be your best option. If you're cracking your brain around why your ads aren't working at a $500 per month budget, I can tell you right now, you're going to be better off trying to increase that budget by $250 to $500 than working 10 hours on one day on one client by fixing the funnel and the ads, right? You might get you might get some better conversion rates, maybe cheaper leads, but I can tell you right now, by simply using the ads and stuff like that and the process you have already, but just increasing the variables and increasing the budget, you're going to get better results, and you're going to eventually find the best ad at the cheapest cost per conversion, right? And the best campaigns are where you test completely different ads against each other to find the best one. A simple headline change most of the time isn't going to do a lot for you, but taking a complete 180 on your ad angles and creative usually will, once you find a winner, of course. And that is really all it is just keep throwing different 180 angles, trying all types of different things, even if you don't think the ad is going to work yourself. Because I can tell you from personal experience on our agency ads, our highest performing ads that literally were generating us meetings for a year long, were usually the ads that I thought personally were going to suck and fail. And that goes to show you that even I would say I am in the top couple percent of advertising spenders when it comes to Facebook, and I would say I have some experience. Even my actual opinion on marketing and on ads is useless when it comes to Facebook, because Facebook is such a direct marketing platform that we let the market tell us what is good and what is bad. And from maybe a philosophical or true, marketing standpoint, one ad might hit the sort of advertising rules better, but eventually it all comes down to the result, right? And that is all that matters. An ad that might look like crap might be the best performing ad you'll ever write and ever use on Facebook or whatever platform, as this really goes for any type of advertising. Sadly, some advertising platforms like, radio ads, TV ads, you simply can't do this, right? You can't test multiple angles. However, luckily in the online marketing world, Google ads, YouTube ads, it allows us with very small budgets to test multiple different variables. And that is the golden rule of all advertising, not just Facebook. Never stop testing, and your advertising will never stop improving. That's from David Ogilvy. He's probably one of the best advertising people on copywriting, etc., to have ever lived. So, take his advice to heart, basically. And another one is multiple audience approaches, right? Broad targeting, light interest targeting, which is usually 1 to 2 interests, heavy interest targeting, 5 to 10 interests, custom audience targeting. This can be uploading customer data, niche data, or lists, whatever, or lookalike targeting, and spreading that out to 1% lookalikes, 2%, 3%, 4%. Most of you guys will know what that means. If you don't, you might want to get a little bit more familiar with the Facebook ads platform. And there'll be other videos on that. Or lookalike targeting mixed with interest targeting, right? The more variables and angles you throw at Facebook, the higher your chance of success. And we try to do this with everything, with audiences, with placements, with the platforms we use, not just Facebook, but also Google and YouTube, the copy we use, the headlines we use. We never stop testing, and we keep throwing variables at Facebook. This is why, if you've watched the Facebook ads training, you notice that we have a sandbox campaign. And if I have $100 budget a day, I'm going to spend 80 of that towards my main campaign, towards cold traffic, towards ads that I've written. I'm going to allocate $20 a day for simple random testing, and I'll test the most crazy things in the world on that little $20 a day budget, because I can tell you right now, that's where I find my killer ads that I can eventually transfer over to my main campaign, right? And it can be a winner ad that you find, right? And this is kind of what I've been saying as well. The great thing about Facebook is it allows you to use multiple variables with a smaller budget. And once you've found the thing that works, scale on that and literally throw as much fuel on the fire, right? It can be a winner ad, great, mix that with new audiences. It can also be a winner audience, great, mix that with new ads and creative. And that is kind of just a constant cycle that you want to be utilizing with your Facebook ads. Find something that works after an ungodly amount of testing and throw fuel on the fire. Now, will you have to be testing 20 to 30 different things to get an ad that gets some leads? Of course not.